Hello, welcome to the first McLaren fans podcast of 2024. Like big hairy bears that live in the forest, we all thought we'd be hibernating at this point, not really talking much F1. But yeah, we've been woken from our slumber, pushed on our papaya caps, and donned our favourite McLaren hoodies and t-shirts. And are back for your listening pleasure, I think we should say. Or maybe displeasure. Depends on how you view it.
That sounded lovely, Andy, but I live in my papaya stuff and my McLaren stuff anyway, and I know Andy Robinson does. What about you, Perry?
Unfortunately, I can't work in it. I'm not allowed. I wear my papaya hoodie into the office, and then I have to take it off. I can't walk around in it. Too bright.
Too bright. Oh, dear God. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm known for bright hoodies at work, so I can get away with it. So it's all right. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess say hello, Sarah, for the first time this year.
Hello, Sarah.
And Andy Robinson as well. Hello.
Hello for the first time this year.
Yeah, and we're joined by Perry, who's been on the podcast a number of times before. Always good to have you back, Perry. Hello.
Thank you. Hello. Yeah, it's been almost a year.
Almost
I
a
feel
year.
like they're trying to stitch me up.
Who would possibly do that?
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the papaya car then?
Sorry, what word was that, Perry? What did you say then? Papaya?
Car.
Oh.
In fairness to Perry, though, just before we start recording, I called it black, and Perry, you did correctly get the right colour of the dark shade, and I'll let you repeat it.
Anthracite.
There we go. We're not papaya and black. It's papaya and anthracite.
Yeah.
Was it a predatory grey coloration?
That was before, didn't we? Did we have what was it, charcoal grey at one point or something?
We got rid of the Vega blue like 3 years ago.
Yeah. I'm not sure what last year's blue was, but that's gone as well. So, yeah, McLaren surprised us all. We had a little bit of a teaser on the 15th. Bit of update to the socials, changing of the on brand there, Andy.
Sorry. I just saw a can of Monster pop up and I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, quality. So yeah, so we thought, oh well, yeah, it's probably going to be about a month's worth of stuff sort of lined up, teasing the car launch in sort of mid-early February, maybe around Valentine's Day, that sort of thing. But no, boom! The next day they went, oh, it's 5 o'clock. Hold on to your hats. Here you go. This is what it's going to look like. And yeah, wow, what we weren't all expecting that, were we? That was well, unexpected.
It was, but I think it's brilliant. Cut the crap. Go first. Go fast. That's what I say.
Yeah,
we did it. It's out there. We all looked at it. We know it's only a livery launch, and we know that when you see a car launch, they cover bits up, and it's not quite what you're going to see on track anyway. So, well, it's all a load of bollocks, really, isn't it? So the livery is the thing you see. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. They've caught everyone out and got us all excited a little bit earlier than normal.
I love the fact they called it a livery launch as well. In all the tweets, it's about the livery. It's not about the 2024 car. It's the livery. Yep. And they're right, because half the things on that car will not be on a racetrack.
Yep. Well, the wheels will be.
Well, we don't know. That's a beautiful thing. We're so early.
Well, yeah. Let's hope that the Google wheels are on there. We do like the Google wheels.
Perry, were you working when the car launch happened?
I was.
Did your phone in your pocket go anything like mine? Because I was working as well. I wasn't on my phone.
Yeah, I was definitely working. I wasn't on my phone, and it was definitely going up on the desk, and I definitely wasn't looking at it. It's all right. The director of my company is a Red Bull fan. He's not listening to this, hopefully. But
welcome to the first Red Bull podcast of the year.
You're gonna have to set
One
the
listener,
record.
Perry's boss.
Come on, last year I got the colour wrong. This year I'm getting the team wrong. It's getting worse.
Gonna say, you'd love to get him as a Secret Santa, wouldn't you? Think of all the cool stuff you could buy just to troll him about that.
Yeah.
Did I know it's a complete sidetrack. Did anyone see the Secret Santa from one of McLaren's partners and what happened there?
No, go on quickly.
Halo ITSM. Someone was trying to get Halo ITSM in as a partner to be their company, and their boss wanted someone else, a different ITSM provider. So they wrote to Halo ITSM and said, "Can you send loads of stash to send to my boss, who's my Secret Santa?" And they did. They lovingly sent out a load of stashed gear to the company to give to the Secret Santa. So fair play to a very good partner of ours.
We
Excellent.
like Halo.
Yes.
We like Halo because they're based in Stowmarket in Suffolk, where I live. Just
Complete
throwing that in there.
sidetrack. Apologies for taking us off the livery launch.
It's all right.
Anyway, back to
Yeah.
the livery launch.
Let's go for it. Yeah. So, yeah, very much a livery launch, not a traditional launch. That's coming later in the year. It's penciled in for the 14th of February. I believe it'll be called the MCL 38. And then we've got 3 or 4 days of testing in Bahrain, 21st to the 23rd, when we'll probably see what we've really got. I'd just like
Maybe.
to kind of say, right, what are your first impressions? Let's have a quick round the table. Andy, what did you think when you first saw it?
It looks fast and aggressive. I know it's just a livery. I know it doesn't matter what a livery looks like, but it looks fast, it looks aggressive, and it's got some lovely throwbacks to other liveries. It's got the Easter eggs for the real fans, I think.
Yeah.
Easter eggs, they are on sale already in your supermarket.
They are.
I hope there's some papaya flavored ones available. Papaya chocolate. What about you, Perry? What did you see when you first saw it? What was your first sort of impressions?
The very first impression was it looked a lot like the OKX stealth livery, which they've said it was
Yep.
based on. Obviously, they took the blue. I can't remember the official name of the blue. Took the blue off last year, and they've kept that in this year's livery. There's a lot of papaya. It strikes straight away. As Andy said, it looks quick, and I love all the little nods that are included. The red, nod to the red and white, the chrome numbers. There's a lot of nice little details for fans to be excited about on that car.
Yeah, somebody put a side by side of the old Marlborough red and white livery and this one from a top sort of down, and the angles are exactly the same.
I think it was Will Buxton, wasn't it?
It could have been.
I saw
But
something that he tweeted. Yeah.
He's blocked me on some sort of social thing. So,
But that's not a coincidence that it's exactly the perfect angle.
yeah, exactly. That's just not luck.
It's
Yeah.
almost like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Merritt, what did you think when you first saw it?
Google Wheels! That's what I thought. I don't know what you thought. I thought
Oh,
they're still
bloody
there.
Wheels.
Yes,
But
they're still
in the
there.
very first video they put out, the start of the video, the car is all papaya and the wheels are black.
Yes.
And then it migrates into the car that it becomes. And when I saw those black wheels, I thought of you straight away. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
She's gonna be crying. She's gonna be crying. And I'm gutted because, as you know, last year I invested in a new banner, a very exciting new banner. Look, I
Yeah.
love Google Wheels. So what I don't want to happen is that the Google Wheels go away, because then I have to have a new banner made. So yeah, I'm very happy to see they're still there. Actually, I lied a little bit there because I knew what you wanted me to say. My first thoughts were, thank God it's still papaya. I always worry that someone at some point will say, get rid of that. And I think that's so important because, as Zach said, that ties us to the heritage. It's something the fans wanted. He did it for us. So if that goes away, I'd be very upset.
They changed the icons on the social medias. All there was that black. It was anthracite. Or Perry, correct me there because I've got that
Anthracite,
horrendously wrong. Yeah, and
coal
it was
coloured, yeah.
it was dark. There was no hint of papaya. There wasn't even
Exactly.
a shade of it. So I was a little not concerned, but I was a little like, okay, something's going on here.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking you know, over the next couple of weeks, does it get sort of coloured in with different colours in a hint, or are we going for like a full carbon fibre sort of look with some sort of like special sort of, I don't know, holographic livery or something like that? You know, I guess when you see, if you're a Red Bull fan or a Ferrari fan, you don't really need a launch of your livery. You know what it's going to look like,
It's red.
you know, right?
To be fair, we examine everything to the tiniest detail, don't we?
Yeah,
And probably a Ferrari fan does the same with their car, even though to us it just looks like it's red.
right.
And probably a Red Bull fan does the same, and they go, "Oh, the bull is 3 millimeters smaller than it used to be," or whatever. You know, I know that F1 fans are geeky. I know that they're going to be analysing it, so we're probably glossing over it, just saying their cars look the same, because they're probably going to say, "Oh, our car's still papaya." They're not going to see the detail that we do. The
Yeah.
chrome driver numbers were lovely. I like those.
I've got to say that's my favourite bit, the chrome
Yeah.
driver numbers. Now everybody's going, "Oh, how are you going to see them?" Well, just wait until they're at the racetrack and see how it looks then, because that's what matters. How's it going to look on the TV as well? I'm sure they're not going to just put numbers on there that you're not going to be able to see. You know,
You don't actually need to be able to see the driver numbers, because you can tell from the colour of the camera mount which car you're looking at anyway.
you can if you, unless you keep forgetting like I do. So
And the helmet.
And the helmet.
Do
Yeah.
the one thing I
you
thought
can't
I
see
don't,
much of the helmet these days, though. It's only a little tip sticking out.
Is that
So
because it's underneath a halo?
it's because
yeah.
of the halo. Yeah.
I think, do you know that the one thing I'm waiting for on a livery launch is we've been developing these panels for 2 years now that update and show
Oh,
different sponsors.
yes,
I was
yes.
wondering if we were going to get a nose section that had a different or a rear wing or something, where we finally launched it in our whole concept. But maybe it's coming. Maybe it's a
Rear
surprise.
wing, I'd say not, because of weight and DRS and the stuff you need to do there. And the nose as well, it flexes, although that's obviously a debatable thing with other teams. Should it flex? Should it not? What amount should it flex? But and I guess very expensive if it gets boshed, as it is more likely to do. So therefore, not a safe place to put something like that. I don't know.
Let's
I
put a
don't know.
diamond on the nose and run around Monaco with it instead. How about that?
I think
A
somebody
real
tried that
diamond.
once.
It did.
Only once.
Yeah.
One got stolen, one got lost in a crash.
Yeah. I think you know, one of the things there is that there's a lot of sponsors on the car, which is good. We like to see it.
Zillions of sponsors.
Yeah. But there's one missing that's glaringly obvious, which is Monster. Now, Monster obviously have their own branding, colours, and everything else like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something slightly different, maybe on the livery itself when it comes to car launch or the Australian Grand
Are
Prix.
are you expecting to see Monster on the car? Because I'm not.
No, I thought this as well, and then Owen, one of our friends, reminded me that Monster have said they're sponsoring everything but the car, pretty much. So it will be
Okay.
on like the
Yeah.
driver's race suits, and it'll be on other stuff,
Yeah.
but it won't be on
Yeah.
the car.
Right.
So I don't
Credit
think
to
it's
Owen for
going to
that
be
one.
on the car, but you know, yeah, just from what we've read. But you never know. They might want to be a part of something.
Yeah, it could be on the driver helmets. You just don't know. There could be a one-off that they've signed for.
I was going to say, I see a Monster one-off livery at some
Yeah,
point.
I think so.
Cool.
I think that
Oh,
makes
it's going to look like
more
it's got
sense for their
Flover's
brand
bogies all over it.
than it does for sort of like having a sticker on the side of the car for the whole season. Maybe they've got a deal where there's a right. Yeah, I think it might be you, Andy, that pointed out that there was a mention in some press release that it was about 20 sort of races where the OKX I think was going to be on there, and I think there's a bit of deliberation between me and you. So, well, is that because of like we're going to have some special sponsors, or is it because you're not allowed to actually sort of advertise that sort of thing in some areas? But even even if you're not allowed to advertise it, that just does give you the opportunity to have a special liveries a couple of times a year, which we seem to like doing. I like it.
Yeah. Views took the side pod twice last year and did their love thing.
Yeah.
And there've been fans' names on it as well. And but yeah, OKX they've moved on to the side pod as well, so they've doubled down on their primary principal partner.
Yeah.
They're fully in, which as an avid marketing man's dream, I love it.
Do you go with the 3Ps then? Primary principal partner.
I put a lot in there, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that. Didn't say papaya as well. That would have been good.
So yeah, so anything else on there that we want to kind of pick up on? I'm still looking at photos of it and still, kind of trying to see what's there and what isn't, and it's yeah. There's
I got two
papaya
photos.
and anthracite. I'm glad that now the black color has now got a name of anthracite.
I went and put a
Yes.
black t-shirt on because I thought it was black.
But we used to call it exposed carbon last year. So are
Yeah.
we saying that the whole car is now painted? Or are we saying that what we called exposed carbon, we're now calling anthracite?
I think that's the case, isn't it?
And the
Yeah.
cars aren't painted. It's a decal,
All
a
right,
sticker put on
wrapped.
top.
I don't mean painted. I mean wrapped, or whatever. But
3.5
Yeah.
kilograms was the original weight saving. When we went from painting it, so the chrome was a really heavy paint because of the way you have to do chrome paint. 3.5 kilograms weight saving. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I've done poos bigger than that, Andy.
So I got two
I'm
things
loving,
I thought about the
I just
launch.
want to say one thing that's totally off agenda. I'm loving being back with you guys. It's nice to have our down the pub style chat that we always started off with. So thank you. Go on,
I mean,
Andy. What's your two things?
Well, Andy's been talking about the tip, and you're talking about poos, so I'm well in. Well, one was the social media guys, the videos and pictures that they produce to put out, and bearing in mind they're probably all created from scratch. And there's a video going along with the two cars going down a straight for like 5 miles. That's not a real video, and they've put it all together, and I think it's incredible. The video is proper capture. So big old kudos to the graphic designers and the artists over there. They
Yep.
are incredible bits of work.
Done a brilliant job.
I
Yeah.
also like the tagline, whatever it takes. I think it's an excellent mission statement for us to move forward with. The video I found quite emotive as I watched it. I don't know if you guys felt the same.
Just us.
It always makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up kind of feeling, doesn't it?
The
Yeah.
one they put out before as well, with all the bad headlines, are we in trouble? And you're sort of
Yeah.
watching that and going, yeah, this time last year we were wondering whether to really believe. Obviously, we always do, but we were sat at the back of the grid. We were saying, how bad's Bahrain going to be? And to be where we finished the season, I know you touched on it at the end of last year, but to get to where we got to, and so it was nice that they played on that and said, look, we turned it around last year, and you've got to watch out for us this year.
Yeah, I like the confidence. I like the optimism. I don't think we would be doing that unless we have some idea that we're doing well. Don't get me wrong, it's the same thing. You don't know what any other teams are going to do, and certainly Red Bull will make a jump forward as well. So, I don't expect us to go out there and win in Australia and top all the timesheets in Bahrain. But what I do expect us to be is more competitive.
I don't think the tagline gives an arrogant sort of look, though. I think what it's saying is no matter where we are, we'll always give whatever it takes. So even if we did start poorly this season, we would still hammer away and give it everything. I felt that it was more of more about work ethic and the Bruce kind of tie-in. We all know how hard they worked in the garage back then to get things going. It really just made me feel like that. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
There's been a few videos recently released with Bruce's voice over them. Like McLaren Automotive put one out about 2 weeks ago, and they get me. I was never alive enough to see Bruce in real life. Like I'm younger than
most.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know where I was going with that. And I never saw Bruce race, never heard him speak. I haven't watched many interviews with him where he's actually speaking out loud on TV. So hearing those voices and hearing that, it does get you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
every time.
There's an actual great video of him doing a track explanation. I think it's of Watkins Glen or something like that. I'll dig that out for you and send it to you, Andy. It's pretty good. If you speaking about that, I think it was the 50th year one they did a video of Bruce McLaren, which was around the Goodwood crash, and that was voiced over as well. And that one always gets me in the feels every time. Like literally will stop me in my tracks and I have to sit down. And I keep going back to watch it every
Yeah.
now and then because it just feels like that's like, obviously Bruce set the team up and everything else like that. But that actually kind of is the pivotal moment, I feel like, where McLaren was really born. Out of that tragedy
Yeah.
came this team and forged forward. And that's kind of, yeah,
It's that work ethic.
heritage. We're all proud of it.
Yeah, very
Bru- Bru-
proud.
Bruce had his accident. No one knew what was going to happen to the company. Everyone showed up the next day.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's the story that you get told by the McLaren people. Like it's
Yeah.
not a fabricated story. That's the truth, and that's what this
Yeah.
team's built on.
yeah.
And Andy and I were very lucky to be at MTC, and we watched that video once with Matt Bishop there, didn't we, Andy?
We did indeed, yes.
And he talked to us afterwards, and people were, including myself, literally welling up listening to that. So it's it's a very important emotion and story.
Yeah.
On car livery launch, whatever it takes. One of the things I loved was that they haven't just copy and pasted last year's plans. They haven't just gone, this is what we always do. We always launch midweek of February. We always get people to the MTC. We get Sky in. We do it on Sky. We do this. There's our formula for launch. I love the fact they've just gone, let's do this. Let's do something different. And they've taken a risk, and it's massively paid off in my eyes, and probably on interactions as well. It's probably
Yeah.
massively paid off.
Yeah.
I
They've
think there's other teams out there thinking, shit, we've dropped the ball here. We've missed something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a conspiracy theorist on one thing of this though, and I've mentioned it to people before. Like I think this is the cheapest car launch McLaren will ever do. In the age of the budget cap, they haven't had to invite fans or staff or media to the MTC. They haven't had to pay for lunches, haven't had to pay for dinner, haven't had to pay for any entries and all that, haven't had to give away any goodies, haven't had to do anything. They've got the people doing their job, pay wages, done and dusted. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But they haven't had to go above and beyond. And we all know that one team spent too much money on sandwiches one year, so we've purposely not spent too much money on sandwiches. I think it's a great plan.
I've written down here on the agenda, is this the end of the traditional car launch? Not just for McLaren, but for others. The way that you can launch now we've just shown completely that it doesn't have to be a real car. The livery, you could do the rollout of the car before testing like we're going to do. But even then, is that going to, like you say, is that going to be some people at the MTC and the press and everything else like that? Are fans going to be invited? I think the days of fans going to the MTC for car launches are over, unfortunately. I think, like you say, it's expense. It comes out of the budget.
I
Which
thought
is-
maybe they're just
I
going to
feel
mix
the
it
other
up a
way.
bit. Yeah, go on,
Yeah,
Perry.
go on then. Yeah.
My big thing about the livery launch was why? Why decide to, because a normal car launch, they go, here's the car, and one of the big talking points is always the livery. So McLaren this week have decided, here is the livery, but we'll save the launch. Because don't forget, on the 14th of February, we are still launching something. So that will be the race suits, driver helmets, they'll be there. I still think that we will do the big launch. We will have people at the MTC on that 14th. And what we're trying to do, perhaps, I'm hoping, is we want people talking about the car, not the livery. I think they're trying to separate it out. That was my big why. Why would you try and stop people talking about the livery almost? Because if they've seen it, they'll talk about something else. So I just wonder whether we've got something on that car that's really going to wow on the 14th. And we feel we've got enough that will be the launch, not the livery.
It's an extra set of wheel at the back. 6-wheel car.
Not
know
the
what?
six-wheel
Big
car.
wheels.
I completely hope Perry's right.
Yeah.
Because that would be massive for this season.
But you wouldn't give it away though on a car launch. You'd even
No,
try
but
and
the
hide
No,
it
thing
in
you
is,
wouldn't
testing,
show
wouldn't
it.
you?
You wouldn't show it. You'd roll out in
Yeah.
Bahrain with it.
Yeah. But I would even say you might not even do that until the last day in Bahrain. You know, F ducts and all that.
Right.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
it could be. You know, we've had a couple of car launches or livery launches that have been leaked in the last few years.
Yep.
Ours has been before, stuff like that. Normally the day before or something like
I
that. But
think didn't Sky go an hour early or something with the last one? I mean, you
yeah,
know,
so yeah,
all
maybe
that
they're just
hard work.
taking back control of that kind of side of it, I guess. But it's, you know, even then, if it was I feel if it was something to do with that, it would have been in February sometime. This is a strategic marketing plan that none of us have got any insight to here. And hopefully we find out a little bit more as we go along. So
Yeah,
We did an
he's
awful lot better than Stake. We'll launch something on the 1st of the 1st at 9 a.m. and then missed it by just only 4 days, I think it was. So I think we've done a hell of a lot better for January launches so far.
yeah, yeah.
There were a few eager eyes out there that noticed the pattern in the IndyCar racing suits and the Formula E racing suits from McLaren. It was
Yep.
papaya top half with a slash across the thighs to a black bottom half, anthracite bottom half. Sorry. And so there were hints coming out, and I think that would also do it because Formula E raced at the weekend, and our
Yep.
livery will have inspiration and will have tie-ins to all of them. The Extreme E got launched today, and that's got hints and throws to each other. So there might.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes we have, you know, we keep it slightly separate on the F1, its own identity, but we'll see. Yeah, you know, it'll be interesting. Let's see what turns up in February. When we'll probably have our next podcast discussing on what's actually on the car and what the driver's seats look like, and talking about helmets and stuff probably. If there's anything else to add to that, or yeah, we're all good on that. So last weekend there was the Autosport International Show down in Birmingham. I was down there myself, bumped into Perry, and had a good chat with him. And just want to pick up on one sort of point from that Racing Pride, who if you listen back a few episodes ago, mid last year, we had Matt Bishop on, who talked a bit about it. They had a presence at Autosport and a panel, and it was good to see Matt again do on that panel with Jordan, who's an e-scooter racer, I think she was, and
E-scooter
yeah,
and
and Richard Morris.
crested F1 boats as well.
Yeah, and Richard Morris, who's the founder, and it was good for them to see them there and actually have a presence and actually um, discuss quite a few interesting topics about sort of inclusivity, sorry, in motorsport and how they were going about making that happen a bit more. So, yeah, it's probably you know, we might try and get somebody from Racing Pride on a bit further on in the season. Obviously, we've had Matt, but we'll see if we can do that. And we just wanted to say
Was
it was
Christian Hugill there?
Christian Hugel. He was the presenter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
So, yeah.
He's a lovely person, and bless you, Andy.
Sorry, sneezing on the podcast. Start again from scratch.
I listened to the Fast and the Curious as my other favourite podcast other than the McLaren Fans Cast, and really rate Chris. Love listening to him. Love his vibe. Love knowing everything about the journey he's been on. But I've also sent him some key rings which he's got as well. So he is a supporter of the Merit keyring.
Excellent, excellent. Yes. So,
Yes.
yeah, just wanted to bring that up and give it a bit of visibility and sort of yeah, it was good to see that. It's not something that I think would have happened in the past, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
And going along with things that wouldn't have happened in the past that we've seen at the Autosports show, Andy, remember when we were there and the W Series stand was there? Also something that Matt Bishop was involved in.
Yes.
So he's a trailblazer for all things coming through. And obviously, we talked to him a lot about inclusivity in our meeting we had with him before.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really, really good to see that, he's getting involved and sharing his stories.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So moving on from that, unless anyone's got anything to add, Andy.
I mean, I just think the link is perfect. We're going to move on from the LGBTQ plus community onto fashion. I mean,
Yes.
what more could you possibly want? Says the active member of the LGBTQ plus community, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing on that.
Yeah,
Sorry to not quite get to the fan word just yet. That I didn't realise before we went to the stand that anyone could just sign up. So please do. Basically, you go onto their website, sign up, become a member. I think it's £25 a year, or overall. And yeah, as we saw on the stand as well, you don't just join just because you are part of LGBTQ, but also because you want to be as they kept saying, we need straight allies. And it was quite clear to see, I think, when we were sat watching them on the business forum panel, that a lot of people there in the audience watching were those straight allies. There was a brilliant story from a guy that runs a gym, a boxing gym, and saying he wanted to make his gym very friendly in that manner, and he puts a flag up. He's got a big flag on his Facebook page, he was saying, and yeah, it's great to see that it's being welcomed, and yeah, as I say, join up.
They always have a competition on. They've always got a tour of somewhere or an event. They've got, it's like at the Autosport show, they had 2 VIP tickets. Yeah, like Mr. Scramble, they do stuff. They got tour of the Red Bull factory recently. Yeah, they've got great stuff. You pay your membership, you get your stuff, but they've always got good competitions as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll stick out a link on the Twitter of how to join, and yeah, so yes, we will move on to the fashion part of the show now. So yeah, there was also a drop of new fanwear that came out. I liked some of it. It was quite nice. But I am trying to keep my cash in my wallet until the drop of the actual proper teamwear comes out, and the very expensive stuff that we have to buy every year for the team.
It helps. Yeah,
I like the new colour. There was a sort of plum wine sort of colour of hoodie and sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I thought that was nice. I'm a girl. I like other colours. I can be papaya and have another colour as well. That works for me.
Anthracite, is that your other colour? That is your other colour now officially.
It is now.
What I did notice was that whereas the men's apparel now goes up to 4XL, the women still stops at a size 18, which is a miniature size 18 at that. Until we've conquered that, we won't have changed the world.
Yeah. I wonder just how much of the stuff is actually unisex, like the hoodies and stuff like that, if at all. But
yeah, I mean, I wear the guys' tops. They're just too long for a girl. They're just not quite the right shape, but they're okay. It would just be nice to feel like we weren't being driven in that direction and we had a choice. But no, I mean, it was interesting. But more pictures on the front, says Sarah, the 49-year-old who doesn't want pictures on the back.
I'm with you. As a larger man, my back space is my breathing space and my sweat space. I don't need a big logo on there to stop my back from breathing. It's just going to get covered in sweat. I tend
to wear a coat open or a jacket open. You're not going to see it if it's on my back. It's covered up. So,
smoke green and plum purple and port are the new colours.
Port. I knew it was alcohol related.
Yeah, yeah. There's a few hoodies that are quite nice, but I think I'm just, given that it's probably less than a month till the official kit drop, I'm not dropping any money yet, and also
Plus, it won't arrive by then anyway, Andy.
it'll arrive by 2025 if you're lucky. Anyway, right. Well, that's all we've got time for on this episode. Thanks for listening or watching wherever you may be. And if you can subscribe and like, that would be friggin' sweet awesome.
Friggin' sweet, awesome.
Yeah.
Friggin'
Andy
sweet.
Sam.
That'll ding dang do for me.
And if you want something friggin' sweet awesome, I've got 20% off on my shop at the moment, so have a look on Etsy. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And all I've got to say now is thanks, Perry. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for
Redemption.
having me. Good to be back. I'm glad I managed to get through the whole thing without saying orange.
Oh,
No!
excellent, excellent. And thank you once again, Andy, for joining us,
Pleasure. Thank you.
and Sarah. And no doubt we'll be back after the more traditional car launch in February. And we can all go back to hibernation now, unless anything else happens that we just don't expect.
I have my Piastri pillow ready to lay upon.
And on that note, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.